Hi, I'm Donna Jordan from Jordan Fabrics. Today I'm going to show you how to make a really fun and fast project. Come on in, let's get started. We've made a lot of fun projects with cats and dogs. We have a very happy dog quilt here with a Hawaiian sweater, and we also made a pillow that matches that quilt. Very fun. And then we have a cat quilt here. These are all in K facet prints, really bright and happy. Now today we're going to make some little pillows, some cat pillows and dog pillows, and these are made from a pre-printed panel. This is a moda group called WOOF MEOW, and each yard has a panel that will make either 2 cats or 2 dogs. The directions are all on the panel, so this is really all we need, and it's going to make a mama meow, baby kittens, and a daddy cat. So you can see here's the back and the front, and then we've got the same thing there. We've got the little kittens, and then we've got a dog panel. It's a little hard to see till after we get it cut up, but oh, there's the cute face there. How fun. So we're going to take these over to the workroom, and we're going to cut all the pieces and stitch them up really fast. I've cut 1 panel off of each bolt here, a dog panel and a cat panel. Now these are a 1 yard panel, and the yard has all the pieces we need. So we can make 2 cats or 2 dogs here, and you get all the pieces from the panel, and it's got all the instructions right here. All of the pieces are labeled, so this is piece C, this is piece D, this is piece E. And before you cut anything, you want to open up your panel and you want to steam press it really, really flat to make sure there's no wrinkles and to make sure it hasn't gotten distorted or twisted while it's on the bolt. You cut right along the dotted line, which is right on the outside of the piece. You don't have to add anything for seam allowances. And you kind of want to be aware of which piece is which, because after we cut them, the labels, see the label here, will not still be on the piece. But there's only 3 or 4 different pieces, so it's not that easy to get confused. It's pretty clear. So I'm going to cut all the pieces right on the lines. I like to use a sharp pair of scissors to cut this. Some people might prefer to use their rotary cutter. It's really a matter of preference. I've just had a lot of practice with the scissors, so that's what I'm going to use. Here's all the pieces all cut out for the Papa Woof, the Papa dog. So here's his front, and this is going to make a little pouch, and we're going to make these little baby dogs and slide those in there. We've got some ears, and then we've got the back. Then we've got exactly the same pieces over here in the mama woof, the mama dog. So we've got, again, we'll stitch this on but leave it open here. We'll stuff up the little puppies and then they can slide right in there, and then we'll put the back on. The first step is to stitch this down here. Now the directions call for me to iron this back 1/4 inch and sew it. I'm just going to turn it over 1/4 inch twice because I don't like the thought of that raw edge being there. So I'm just going to turn this back twice. You can iron it first if you want. And I'm going to narrow hem it. And then I'm going to iron it afterward. I've ironed down this top edge where it's stitched nice and flat. And because I turned it under twice, mine is a little bit shorter, but the pattern's still going to line up, and I won't have to worry about any of this fraying as it would if it was a raw edge, because we're going to be sliding those little puppies in and out. I don't want anything to fray there. Now we're going to make the ears, so we just have to stitch them front to back. So I'm going to put them right sides together, and I'm going to stitch around here and leave this whole side open. I'm using a 1/4 inch seam, and you should back tack at the beginning and the end so it doesn't come unstitched when we flip it. Now I'm going to get my scissors. It's pretty easy to flip this and have it flat, but you can take some little teeny wedges out of here if you like to make it lay a little flatter as you flip it. That'll get some of the extra bulk out. So I'm just cutting some little notches on these outside curves because then when I flip it, it will lay flatter. Now just turn it right side out, and you can draw your fingernail along the inside of there. And because we trimmed those notches, it'll lay nice and flat. Here's both ears, all flipped and ironed. Now the ear has a dot on it, and the background also has a dot. So all we have to do is line those up. Really, really easy. We're going to stick a pin in there. With the other ear in place, just line those dots up. So that's the whole top of the dog, and the back of the dog is cut the same size. So we're just going to put that right over the top. We're going to pin it in place, and we're going to stitch all the way around, and we're going to leave an opening, probably leave it open down here, and then we can put the stuffing in. Now I'm going to stitch everything front to back, and I'm going to leave an opening on the bottom a little bit bigger than my hand. So I'm just going to start here, and I'm going to back tack, pivot at the corner. So our pouch, so to speak, is right here, and it's going to get stitched in the sides here as we go. So when we come to this part right here, we're going to want to double stitch that, because just back tack right here a couple times, because that's going to get a lot of extra pull when you put the baby, the puppies in and out. So that's why I'm going to back tack on both sides right where this piece comes in. Just put some extra stitching. Trim off some of the excess seam allowance in the corners. Not too close to your stitching, just enough so we can get it trimmed. And if you have any extra ear parts, you can trim those off also. Now when I was sewing this front to back, I also went ahead and back tacked all the way along the ears here, because I found that stuffed animals, unlike real dogs, sometimes get lifted up and swung around by their ears. So you want those ears to be on there really, really secure. All we have to do now is flip this right side out. And I didn't leave a real big opening because then I don't have very much to hand stitch when I'm done. You just want to leave it big enough so that you can get your hand in and you can get the stuffing in there easily. So we're going to poke out the corners. The other seams are going to get full of stuffing, so it doesn't really matter if we don't have those ironed out flat. It's starting to look pretty cute. There's loose polyfill that you can find. You can stuff your dog with the loose polyfill, but I always have lots of scraps of polyester batting that's in sheets. So I usually just cut it up into some pieces and start stuffing in, and I find that that works pretty well. So I'm going to stuff the top first. I'm going to put my hand in there, and I'm going to stuff it all the way up to the top. And I'm going to grab another piece, and I'm just going to keep going till he's nice and full. He's all stuffed up. Now we need to stitch up this opening here. I'm going to pin it. I'm just going to tuck it in and pin it. Now you can stitch this by hand. You could whip stitch this by hand. I'm just going to pull it under the sewing machine and stitch right close to the edge here, and I don't think it's going to show very much because this is the end that it's going to be sitting on mostly. So I'm just going to move the stuffing away from the edge a little bit and stitch really close. Back tack, take those pins out as you go. All right, it's all stitched up. Very, very cute. Now these ears, we can either leave them floppy or we can tack them to the head. But first, we've got to finish the puppies. The puppies are really, really easy. So each one of these is going to get folded in half, and we've got the front and the back right there. So we're going to refold it right sides together, and we're going to stitch around the edge, but we're just going to leave a little opening right here. I'm again going to cut some little notches out of the outside curve here because it will flip better and lay flatter. And here's the opening. I left the opening right here. I stitched a little at the bottom because that's going to make it easier for me to get the opening closed. So this will flip it right side out really easy. And then we're just going to have to put a little bit of stuffing in this. I'm also going to stitch up the little puppies on the machine. It's not a very big opening, so if you just push the stuffing out of the way, you can get this turned in, and then your presser foot will hold it down. Do a couple stitches, leave your needle down, then just grab this corner here and pull, and just put your finger inside there, and it tends to even out that seam allowance. Now when they're done being stitched up, you have to kind of squash them and get that filling nice and flat. And don't worry, you're not going to hurt it, but these are kind of a flat item. They're not supposed to be really, really full. Now the puppies, they slide right in this little pocket. So cute. The ears here, you can tack them down if you want, or you can leave them floppy. I kind of like them floppy. They flop right over the eyes. Really, really fun and really fast. So now I'm going to move on and make the cat pillows. The cat pillows are made exactly the same way, but we don't have separate ears. So they will even go a little bit faster, and the kittens are just so cute. So I'm going to get this stitched up and show you what it looks like. We've got the whole family done here now. So we have Daddy Cat and Mommy Cat, and the little babies are just tucked in here. They're just so cute. Really fun. They even have a little tail on the back side. Now I stitched up all of these guys by hand. It looks quite a bit better. You can't tell on the bottom that it's hand stitched at all. I might recommend, if you're going to use the machine, to stitch up the whole bottom with the machine. So here I just stitched it up partway on the machine. Here I did the whole bottom on the machine. I think it looks a little bit neater. You can leave the dog's ears flying in the wind like this. They're really, really cute. Or you can tack them down. You can tack it by hand there if you want. So they've all got a whole family with them. This would just be really fun gift for a kid, because you can use it as a pillow, but you can also play with them. And they're all just too cute. So this was lots of fun to make. And I think the longest part of it was cutting out the pieces and then the hand stitching. But all the machine stitching and stuffing went really, really fast. Now you don't want to stuff them really, really full. They should be fairly flat like this, because it's almost like a pillow, and if you stuff it really full, it's too hard to get the little cats inside there. So keep it kind of loose. So this is two different panels. One panel has all the cats. It's called Woof Woof Meow. This is the cat family, and the other panel has all the dogs. The whole Woof Woof panel, it's only 1 yard, but it makes all of these items from the 1 yard. Then we've got the Meow panel. Again, 1 yard. You get both cats and all the kittens from just the 1 yard. Thanks for watching our tutorial today on how to make the Woof Woof Meow pillow panels. We're going to be doing a quilt giveaway right here on YouTube. It's going to be for New Year's. Now this is separate from the quilt giveaway we're doing on Instagram. This is going to be given away right here on YouTube I don't have all the details yet, but we will let you know how to enter just as soon as we get that all worked out. Thanks for watching.